Insidious. Woo! Okay, next maze, guys, which, if you guys didn't get the silent hint there, Insidious!
Into the Further.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to let you take the lead on this one. I can't quite remember it 110%. He knows it a lot better.
My favorite maze of 2013. It was brilliant. I love the Insidious movies, and I was in Costco, and I have an open link to any updates to Horror Nights.
Yeah.
And as soon as they updated for the video release of the promo for the announcing the Insidious Into the Further, I literally Kermit the Frog. I was like,
Can you show that?
It's the Muppet Show! And oh gosh, it was like so exciting. So first night I went, one of the first mazes we hit was Insidious, and oh my gosh, everything I wanted to be in the maze was there. The maze encompassed both the first film and the second film. So I was recognizing everything. So first off, I'll talk about the sets. The sets were brilliant. It felt like the house from Insidious 1 and 2.
Yeah.
It was one of the mazes with the best transitions between scenes. There were some really cool props in there from Insidious. Dalton's pictures, the kid's pictures who gets possessed in the first film.
Yeah.
His pictures are all over the wall, and it's just fantastic. The demon's lair in the Further itself was fantastic. The way now, this was a mixed bag for people because unfortunately some of my friends didn't get this effect, but I went in and I got the effect of when they did the Further, which is pitch black with scare actors in there. They pumped it full of fog, so you couldn't really see like too far ahead of you, which made the scares so much more frightening.
Yeah.
And so the sets themselves, I mean, as I've said, they're so well made. They're just, attention to detail is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing I do remember about the maze. I didn't get scared in there, really. Ghost thing, you didn't get scared, go figure, because that scares me, the Insidious movies. But the sets, spot on. Yeah. That was really good. I was geeking out I didn't get so scared about anything else, it was just I wanted to stop and actually look at the sets, because that was amazing what they did in there. As far as scare actors go, in the darkness, that was a good one, because they did, like you said, pump out the fog, if you guys know what I'm talking about. So, of course, I went first stupidly. Wow, there we go. Big mistake on that part. But it was pretty good. I did like it. It did stay close to the movie.
The scare actors were the highlight for me. I mean, just, they were spot on. The demon looked fantastic. And that was one of my worries when I first heard that they were doing Insidious, was like, how are they going to do the demon? Because at that point they had confirmed he would be in the maze. And I'm like, are they going to do it in stilts? Because if you've seen the movie, he's tall.
He's really tall, if you guys see
And he's got hooves for feet. So, and he has this long tail. But the way they did it was fantastic. They got some really agile guys.
Yeah.
He wasn't on stilts, but they got some really tall people to do the creature. And it was scary. They were in your face. They were fast. They were furious. This was one of the few mazes where they were given license to be really aggressive.
Yeah.
And the demon was really in your face, like he would slash at you, and oh my gosh, it was fantastic. The other ghosts were fantastic as well. I think the top 3 ghosts of the maze would be the demon, the old lady, and the old lady's mother.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Sorry guys.
No, I'm just kidding. It's not really a spoiler.
Yeah, it's the events long past. I do remember the demon though, and that was the one thing because I have seen the movie. Was how are you going to do a demon with? It's kind of like Legends. If you guys know who that is, Tim Curry, Legends, that kind of thing. Big, horns. Big horns, big. Usually when Horror Nights did it a long time ago, back in I think it was Orlando. They did a recreation of that. Didn't look good. Was not good.
I think it was all the way back in 2006.
Yeah, quite literally it fell flat. It was terrible. So when you see a big icon such as that, you are wondering what the heck are they going to do? How are they going to represent it tastefully? Is it going to be accurate? It was accurate to that point. And the fact that they didn't put them on stilts for me, because when you wear stilts...
That's really hard to maneuver around a maze.
Yeah, and plus too, when you wear stilts, you can kind of see, here's my big fat leg, here's my skinny little toothpick feet.
Yeah, it's kind of thin, and you can see there's no
Yeah.
bend in the leg, so it doesn't look as good as
yeah.
if it was natural. So that really worked.
Yeah.
The music and sound effects, because they had sound bites from the movie, so you could hear some of the characters speaking. Just worked really well. There was a lot of animatronics in this maze as well. The seance scene, especially, a lot of effects.
Oh yeah.
The strobe lights from the camera flashes, and the table would jiggle, and it was, oh my gosh, it was a fantastic experience. I think one of the most horrifying experiences I had in the maze. There's this final scene where you get into a decrepit part of Parker Crane's house, and there are dead bodies in burlap sacks with ropes.
Yeah.
And they would stand up, right? You didn't know which one was real or not.
Yeah.
And, oh gosh.
It's just simple little things like that scare the living bejesus out
and
of
the
you.
smell.
Oh my gosh, talk about the smell. They made it smell like actual dead bodies, which I love in Hollywood Horror Nights. I will never forget that smell, so I will know if there's a dead body around, I can pinpoint it.
I could smell that the entire night. It was such a strong scent. My friend was feeling a bit nauseous after, because it was just really... it was really powerful. So this was my highlight of 2013. This was my favorite maze, and even though The Thing back in 2011 will always be my favorite, this came damn close to being a top favorite. So if I had to score it, I would definitely give this one a 10 out of 10.
All right.
This was actually a lot of people's favorite. This won the popular vote by the surveys of 2013.
Wow, that's interesting.
And the thing is, John Murdy, the creative director, and I talked to him about this when I went to visit. He said that he had never done this before, and he even said this in a video interview. They wanted to avoid anything paranormal, because they felt that ghosts being so ethereal didn't. Because a lot of Horror Nights' aspects are in your face. Yeah. Very physical. But the reason he lent himself to doing Insidious was because the ghosts, when they film it, are on set. You can see them. They're almost like physical beings. So they could get away with it. Yeah. So that's why they decided to go ahead. And it turned out to be a great success. Insidious was the best maze of 2013, in my opinion, as well as the popular vote by people who took surveys there. So
yeah, for me, it was probably getting really close to a 7 to an 8. I can't remember it 110%, which, like I said, you guys, it does. But the scenes that were there, such as the character, the demon, and stuff. Oh, he's got something pretty cool too. Does it say your actual name on it or no?
No. It's It's a prop replica from the film. So, give you guys a heads up. Every year. Well, I think he started this for Silent Hill. Yes. Starting last year, John Murdy on Twitter would each night tweet a password that you would go to the maze, and a specific person in front of the maze would give you, if you tell them the password, they'll give you a fun prop. Last year for Silent Hill, I got a free poster. And if you were a lucky person, you got a prop from the film. Now, one lucky person this year got the big prize this year was a signed poster of Insidious Chapter 2 by the cast and crew. Yeah. But if you were a fan like I am, you got this, which...
Go and hold up really close. It gets a good zoom.
There you go.
Sure. Go a little bit closer. Sorry, guys. He's not used to filming with my camera, so that's it right there. Look at how cool that is.
So you got this little business card from Elise Rayner and Specs and Tucker from the film, and like I said in the previous video, they would stand outside in front of the house, and they would give you this. And one night, apparently, Lee Wannell, who actually played Specs in the movie, actually played Specs as a cameo for one night, and I would have loved to have seen that.
Oh my gosh, it was a good maze, but. You know, you can't argue with the popular vote here. No. That's pretty good. That's awesome. Okay, guys, that's what we think of Insidious. Ooh. Now time for my favorite maze. Ooh. Can you guess what it is? Walking Dead. Ah! Oh my gosh. I'm going to geek out. Oh my gosh. This, for me, is my instant favorite. Because I watched the TV series. Oh my God, it's so good. And of course, after we went into the back lot, you know Aurora be running head first into that Walking Dead. And the first thing I think what happens in the maze, because the Terror Tram and the Walking Dead, they both corresponded, so it's kind of like fuzzy. But we walk in and instantly when you get off, or after you get off though, instant, here comes the zombies.
Yeah.
There was flashlights, or strobe lights, it was so dark. Wah! Wah!
They opened a little bit of the back lot, because both Black Sabbath and Walking Dead were on the back lot this year. And so they had this little intro segment where it was Atlanta on fire and with zombies. And it was fantastic.
It was awesome. You guys, I have never been so scared to walk into a maze in my life, even though I was so excited, because instantly what you are greeted with is zombies. Like, there was dividers or segments, but there was flashlights and smoke and strobe lights. So you can't naturally see what the heck is going on. So of course I'm walking. I think this little girl right here is the frickin' is my friend. I was like, where are we going? Rah! I'm like, wah! Then another person saw I was holding a camera, and the zombie tried to bite at my cell phone. It was just totally fun. That was the first thing I enjoyed. That was literally a highlight of that for me. And then actually going into the prison. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you look on YouTube, I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch of videos of The Walking Dead. People have it on their cell phones. People have it on, the night vision on their cameras, because you guys aren't supposed to film in in the mazes, but guess what? We do.
You can.
Oh, you can?
You can if you don't have flashlights. Like, if you don't have flashlights on your camera. If you have night vision, they don't care.
Really? See,
Orlando's a little bit more stricter on their policies.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Because my intuition was, because when I was trying to, go like this, another person told me, don't record. I'm like...
Yeah, they tell them that.
You can't be so,
A lot of the times they don't care. As long as you don't have flashlights, they don't really care.
That is awesome.
I even talked to John on Twitter about this. He's like, someone was like, I don't like the fact that people record this, and John responded, I can't remember what he said, but I responded, well, what if you can't go and you love horror and you're not able to go to horror nights, but you want to see what these mazes are like? It's a great way of getting people who are nervous about it very relaxed into going into it and what they can expect. So I'm a very firm believer in filming a maze, as long as it's not disruptive to any of the operations of the maze itself. I have no problem with it. I think it's a good way of showing people that, well, this is what you can expect. And bear in mind, they take down these sets every year. They're not permanent or anything. And these brilliant sets are gone forever. But with these films, like with these videos, we get to see them every year. So they're retained, the fantastic details and stuff like that. So
yeah. For me, of course, they had, because it was a preview of the season that was coming up, they did sneak the little girl. If you guys know in the first preview or something like that, he's walking, there's a little girl, pigtails, picks up a teddy, and then all of a sudden, little girl, are you okay? Turn around, wow, there's a zombie. They had her, yet again, hidden in the maze, and I think that was the girl that I actually talked to. I was like, where are we going? I'm like, oh my God, you're not my friend.
Was that the room with the heads in the fish tanks?
Oh, that's another one.
Because that was the governor's daughter.
I know, yeah. I still love that. I was geeking out in that maze. The head scene, of course, one of my friends, what is this? I'm like, shh, awesomeness. It literally, to me, stayed to the TV show. It was so good, you guys. The head scene, governor's daughter. What was, I think there was one about Michelle in there. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, the Michonne's walkers were in there.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yes, which of course me, I'm geeking out because I could see them and they were hiding behind a tree. I'm like, I know this scene. Sure enough, there they are. And they made the prosthetics of these, I don't know how they did it.
Yeah.
Literally, I know that there's an actor's head in there.
Boneyard Effects does the makeup effects for
you guys,
for Horror Nights.
It looked real. I couldn't fathom the actors were there, and I don't know how. Either they had to put their arms like this or something like that, but you didn't see their arms. They weren't there. Their jaw wasn't there, and I could clearly see eyeballs in the thing, sockets moving, so I know that was real. I'm like, oh, how? The makeup effects, beautiful. Sometimes for Halloween Horror Nights, you do get the masks. That's normal. They can't make up everybody. There's so many actors there. But for the pivotal things, such as the zombies that were really there, the riot people that first greeted you when you walk into this maze, some of my friends played. And of course, funny story, my friend pushed me up against the thing trying to be a zombie. He's like, isn't this awesome? I'm like, yes! And I'm like, you're an a-hole! He's like, I love doing this! And then he runs, he did the Kermit the Frog run, and then glomped onto the metal gate to scare another person. I'm like, oh, I love it. So it just does to show me good that the actors themselves portraying even just the simplest riot zombie is geeking out.
Yeah.
It does my heart good, and I feel that the energy was up in this maze. You got to walk through the prison. You got to see the zombies. You got to see Michelle zombies, and of course the governor's scene, the pivotal scene where you have all these heads on the wall, and oh my God, the sets were to die for.
It was fantastic. It was definitely a good maze. It was
Oh,
a step
so
up
good.
from last year.
Mm-hmm.
My highlights were probably the prison, the very first
Yeah.
scene. It looked like the prison cell block. It was so well done. The details are so accurate. The helicopter crash scene.
Yes, that's another good one.
Where Michonne's walkers are was brilliant. They had a cut in half zombie there,
Yeah.
which was really cool. I was a little disappointed by the maze, and that's only because the first part was fantastic. The prison scene, all the way through the tunnels. They had the telephone where Rick's, where he picks it up and he's talking on it. The ringing phone. If you haven't seen the season, I won't spoil it for. But
Really you need to catch up on
it's they had the ringing phone.
Yeah.
They had the fat zombie again. I won't spoil why he's fat. So they had a lot of these things we recognized from season 3, and I was looking forward to seeing what Woodbury was like. And once we got to Woodbury,
Did it fell kind of flat?
Oh, it fell so flat.
I got that feeling too.
Once you got into the governor's man cave, as it's called, with the heads, because one of the heads is real. But
It was?
Yes, they had so many dummy heads, and then there's one actor in a tank, moving his head.
See, I didn't see that. I think he was gone on mine. I was just geeking out. Either he wasn't
He
there, or
probably
I was
switched out.
geeking out
Yeah, they might have
so
switched him out.
much that I was like, oh my God.
But I wanted to, after that, it was disappointing because it was like you were going through a meat factory.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more of the town. In Orlando, they actually start with Woodbury and then go to the prison. But they actually had a guy dressed as the governor, and they were shooting. He shoots a zombie that's trying to get to you, and it goes back.
Dang it, Orlando.
So they had the budget and they had the space.
Yeah, exactly. So. I don't know. For me, the prison, even though it was an epic, you got to walk through, it felt like it. I wanted to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
it was really
to
me, it was just like one room, and it was like done. I'm like, oh man.
Well, they had
but that's the
tunnels.
beauty of going in it twice. Yeah, the tunnels too. That's the beauty though of going in it twice. You really see everything.
Yeah.
And just the pivotal point for me, besides the governor's hand on the wall, was seeing Michelle zombies. Oh my God. And especially, there were 2 actors in the making was dead on. It was phenomenal. The one thing I didn't like though, he was in the prison. It's like a cheap scare kind of thing. They put a blonde little bombshell inside of the prison cell, and of course she's eaten in half. Help me! Help me! I'm just like, I can't help you, I'm sorry. To me it was kind of odd. And now if she was turning into a zombie, I would have geeked out even more. But the fact that she was going, help me! Help me! I'm like, I can't help you. It's funny. I'm sorry. And besides, the massive amount of blood, technically, she'd be dead. Literally, this was all cut out. Help me! I'm like, no, you're gonna die anyway. You'd be dead already. But it was just like a kind of cheat. It did get me though, because I was geeking out. Look at that, we're in the prison. Help me, wah! Kind of thing. But I don't know. But for me, if I could rate this maze, it's a 10 out of 10 because I just love Walking Dead.
I think what really, apart from the prison, what I really loved was they had this really cool effect I wasn't expecting. Now, as you're walking into the tombs, or the tunnels, there's a little opening that's pitch black inside, and you have to go to the left-hand side to get into the next room, and as you're walking by this room, suddenly it strobes, and there's like a trolley full of zombie puppets, all coming towards you.
Oh yeah, that's another one!
Made me jump so bad because I wasn't expecting it. I thought it was just a scare actor in there, but no, it's like about 10 zombies all on this little trolley system where it jumps out of you. It's But so in the end, I'd have to rate it. I'd probably rate it. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. the prison is what saves it for me. Woodbury fell so flat, and it's a shame because I wanted to like every aspect of the maze. It was like El Cucuy. I wanted to like everything about it, but in the end, I was kind of let down in the finale because it's basically just it's a Pac-Man maze to get out. Like, there's really no, like, because every maze has a final room, and it's usually their big finale.
Yeah.
But with Walking Dead, it was just zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. Okay, one last scare on the side, you're out. It was kind of disappointing. So, but I would give it an 8 out of 10 just because I did enjoy it very much. It was the busiest maze of this year. Lines got up to about 160 minutes wait time.
Yeah. We were lucky and fortunate that we actually went in 3 times.
Yeah.
But it was just like boom.
When we do the tips, when we do
boom. We had to literally run, and I do mean haul tushy. We went out and it's like, again, yeah, and then we were back in.
When we do the tips, I'll explain why, and I'll say what to do.
Okay, so guys, we have one more maze. What's that one more maze?
Black Sabbath, Curse of the 13 3D.
Another good one. Love it so much. Okay, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and check out Crazy Englishman's channel. Woo! Bye, guys. See you in the next video.